This is the most requested video I've gotten for a year, so I will do as you wish, but I don't want it to be boring because I don't want to just sit here and talk about my plans for an hour. So I asked you all to submit questions for a Q&A, and y'all sent me 6 pages worth of questions. I can't get through them all, but I'll do my best to go through most of them and keep it fun and jazzy in the process. Oh, my happy place. This is our guest bedroom slash my home office, or she shed. I feel like I've shown this room a lot in my videos recently, but this is my newest plant corner. That's not a grow light. This is, and then I have one attached on the bottom of that shelf there too. This is solely here to hide that, but I do have a real life version of this. Oh, she's heavy. Let me bring it back around. My Amazonica. Variegated. I was asked if I have a budget for plant care. Clearly not, because this is my most expensive plant and I bought it on a whim. I am gonna lose this oldest leaf, but it's okay. That's what happens with alocasias. Look at the pink variegation. This is the newest leaf. She's pretty. Like, look at the neon veins. It's really striking. I don't know what it is about me that attracts so many trolls, but I did also get asked what my most ridiculous comment was. Pop up with the one I shared recently about someone saying my womb is empty and plants can't fill that space. And don't ask me how many plants I have because I have no idea because I'm afraid of that number. Starting from the top. Oh gosh, what was the name? String of frogs. String of frogs. It's really cute, commonly used in terrariums. And of course, another Pothos variety because I love them. For sure, one of my top 3 must-have plants because they are so easy to care for. There's so many different varieties. They're really pretty. And as soon as they wilt, that's when you know that they need to be watered. I have this one. This one, this is an Enjoy. This one is supposed to be a marble queen, but it's mostly reverted. Only a few of the vines are actually marbled. This is a marble queen Pothos. Look at the difference. And I have a neon Pothos. This one is my mixed salad, I call it, because I propagated a mixture of neon and, oh gosh, what is this one called? I don't know. It's one of the basic varieties. Isn't she cute? My friend asked for a plant, so I propagated a neon for her too. So this one is growing. String of Hearts is my other top 3 plant because I find them very easy to care for. And the variegated version is so cute. Look how pink they get. This String of Hearts is as tall as I am probably. My albuterol. The trick is to make sure that light is hitting the top of the plant, not just the leaves over here. And I water once the soil is completely dried out and everything feels pretty light in the pot. You can also do the taco test. You can easily fold the leaves into a taco shape. It means that the plant is thirsty. Oh, this one is very light. I can water this. Here's another one. This is one I propagated too. Very long and lush. Oh, here's another one. You can tell I like a plant when I clearly have multiple of the same one. And rounding out my top 3 plants, the Frydek. You'll see in my greenhouse cabinet that I have a billion of the variegated kind. This one isn't variegated, but I find the leaves super pretty. The variegated version I keep in high humidity in a greenhouse. This one, it's just growing in ambient and it's doing so well. I'm jumping all over the place. This is an air plant. I don't know how these are alive because I water them like once a month and I never know if they're thirsty or not. Philodendron micans, they have really velvety leaves. And this is a Hoya. One of the favorite things about this new house that we moved into recently is this room because I was able to put in a whole new plant shelf. So just having the extra space to do that is so nice. This is another Hoya linearis. I have a clip-on grow light up there. And this is a hockey puck grow light that's just magnetized to the top. Overlooking my beautiful Hoya compacta, also known as Hindu rope. Oh, here's another Pothos, marble queen. This one is probably one of my most asked about plants. This is a begonia snow-capped variegated. She is pink, she's glittery, she's fabulous. I noticed the newer leaves are not as pink. Ones up here are, and I think it has to do with the light because these top leaves are definitely getting more light. Which brings me to the question about what are my top favorite plant products and tools. Definitely number 1 is using grow lights. I use this to supplement most of the lighting in my house. Whenever people ask me to troubleshoot any of their plant issues, I always ask first, check their lighting conditions because more likely than not, that's the most important factor that's impacting your plant growth. I'm gonna butcher this name. I think it's a Sinningia. Fuzzy like a cat. It's growing from a codex. I think she's very cute. Speaking of caudex, this is a Stephania erecta that I'm trying to root. I have a smaller one up here. And inside this mini greenhouse, I have Alocasia odora batik. Look how snowy it is. Ooh, this is outgrowing. Oh no! The newest leaf is like rotting. This one's brown, this one is brown. These are not looking good. This is a Musa Nono pink variegated banana tree. I gotta figure this one out for another time. Variegated billieti, pilea that I propagated, so cute. And a philodendron emerald king. On to the bedroom. Okay, I know my bedroom looks a little bit crazy right now, but it's because we got a new bed, and like everything else in my life, I tend to procrastinate. But I am determined to get this done today because we need a bed to sleep in tonight. And I want to thank FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video today. This bed is super cool because it uses traditional Japanese joinery. Everything just fits together perfectly. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes max. That was really easy. I literally assembled that in less than 15 minutes. Definitely didn't need a man.
I literally moved the whole thing.
I really love it. Now I do have 2 kids, which means everybody is constantly jumping on our beds. So I was a little bit concerned about the bed's stability, but it is incredibly sturdy. If you look, the bed's frame sits completely snug against the wall. And all the edges are rounded. No sharp points anywhere for my kids to bump into. All the wood is made out of sustainable rubber wood, so there's no harmful chemicals in the air. And I even decided to add a headboard this time around because we never had one before, and I really think it just ties the whole look together. I appreciate how affordable it is, and it ships super quickly. It comes in about 3 to 5 days. So if you want to elevate your sleep space, you can click the link in my description to check out the FlexiSpot bed frame, and I even have an exclusive discount for you. And look, this is my EasyPlant, which I keep next to the bed, which actually answers the next question because someone asked what my first plant was and if I still have it. Now, I don't think this is my first plant, but it's definitely one of them. I think this is the plant that actually started my plant channel. I started posting videos on my personal account about how I propagated this by division. So I pulled up the whole plant, I divided the whole thing and made multiple plants. I gave those other plants away, but this is still the original mother plant. These are supposedly indestructible because they're very, very hardy. They can survive in low light conditions. There are rhizomes underneath the soil that hold in all the water and nutrients, so they can go a long time without being watered. But again, even if plants are labeled low light, they will still do so much better when you give them actual light. Someone on YouTube actually accused me of pretending to repot it and then get a new plant, act like that was the plant all along. It's literally the same plant. Who has the time to go and buy like decoy plants? And then my 2 philodendron. This is a Sodiori. ChatGPT said it's philodendron Sodiroy. Just rolls off your tongue. This definitely needs a new moss pole extension, but I like it small because it looks like a little bouquet like this. And this monstrosity of a philodendron splendid, I know it's painter's tape to the wall. I can't deal with this right now. It needed to be chopped like 10 leaves ago. But the leaves are so pretty. So velvety. I should do a moss pole video because the reason why the leaves get bigger and bigger is because I've allowed this plant to climb and then the aerial roots grew into the moss and it supports bigger and larger leaves. I actually had a lot more plants on moss poles, which kind of brings me to probably the most common question I got, which had to do with plant burnout and if I ever feel overwhelmed by the number of plants that I have. And the answer is all the freaking time, which is why I have plants that end up getting a little bit neglected and taped to the wall like that. But for me, if I ever feel I've reached a point where I do not want to do any chores, all I'm doing is taking care of my plants, that is a sign that I need to downsize. By the way, I don't randomly just have 2 mirrors in this room. I'm trying to get rid of that one. Anyway, so my rule of thumb, which I never do, but I try to, is anytime I get a new plant, it has to replace another plant that I'm either going to sell or give away because this whole hobby is supposed to bring you joy. And if you're not feeling joy, oh no, this leaf is bending. I need to tape this. Like if a particular plant is just not bringing you joy, get rid of it. It's not worth the headache. By the way, tape totally works as a splint. No one will ever know. Oh, I'm dreading showing this cabinet because it needs so much work. But starting from the top under this grow light, have a Hoya GPS something 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 with a bunch of numbers. I call this a Hoya Hushi because it has a much longer name that I cannot pronounce. This is a variegated million hearts plant that I propagated, and this is the baby. And this is a Hoya polynura variegated, and it looks like mermaid tails. Please don't judge my hot mess of a greenhouse cabinet. Okay, I need to prune because this is just embarrassing. These were all fully pink leaves, so they just melted away naturally. Like this. Alocasia bambino variegated. Oh, I see you back there. Ah, it just melted off. That's a lot of retired leaves. Do I have any anthurium? I have exactly 2, and 50% of them look great and 50% of them look like crap. Anthurium warrock. She never looked good. I was looking at it in my last live stream and I thought, maybe it looks like crap because it needs to be repotted. Shove you back in there. And my queen of hearts, she is so pretty. Look at these dark leaves. Also needs to be repotted. And this Falloppia multiflora variegata is my most challenging plant. I did make a dedicated video about repotting her because she was dying. And the leaves are so pretty, but these bottom ones just keep spitting out purely elbow leaves. Elbow leaves do nothing for the plant. There's no chlorophyll in them. She stresses me out. I also just appreciate my Stephania sapphirantha. I stuffed her into my greenhouse because she lost all her leaves and then she just came back full force. It is so cute. Frydek variegated dragon scale that I grew from tissue culture, I believe. Another tissue culture, Philodendron Pluto. Some more variegated Frydeks. Black velvet in the back. What are you? What are you? Oh, pink stems. This is in Alocasia pink dragon variegated. Another Frydek. I have a lot of Frydeks. More Frydeks. Oh wait, this is a Alocasia Gagana, I believe. I grew that from a corm. Another pink dragon variegated. My crappy looking warrock, which I showed you. Oh shoot, what was that called? Milano. Alocasia Milano variegated. So pretty. Ooh, I need to water this. This is a ping. Oh, another dragon scale, but this one isn't variegated. Ooh, pretty though. And that, my friends, is my completely way overstuffed, packed greenhouse tour. I need to like offload half of these, honestly. It is just too stuffed in there. These are my cute propagation stations. This was custom made, modeled after my late dog. I am rooting Hoya linearis in here and then growing more variegated million heart plants. And going down the stairs, I have my Philodendron Brazil, my Pothos I showed you earlier, and my Syndapsis Trebi Moonlight. And my OG plant shelf. This shelf has traveled with me across 3 different houses, so I'm very attached to it. The side is one of my billion monsteras. This is a Thai constellation. Here's another one, growing in water. Huge monstera that I have. Another Tycon, an Albo, love her, and another Thai constellation. Gosh, I have a lot of the same plants. But for some reason, go crazy over this plant. I don't know what the big deal is. I guess she's really big. Bird's nest fern. This is from inconsistent watering, but it's okay. And I have 2 of them. I grew this from a 4-inch pot from Trader Joe's. What in the... Okay. All right. I told myself this was purely going to be a tour. I'm not going to do plant chores, but I can't ignore this. And someone did ask how I repot EasyPlant pots, so this is a good opportunity. I dumped out the existing water in the reservoir. I can take this out and see what I'm working with. Pretty sure this vine is dead. I'm just going to chop that off. It's not rotted because these roots are nice and white and healthy. This broke off. Out of all of this, I have 2 viable stems. It's not rotting, but I don't like how completely wet and muddy the soil is in this pot. I cleaned out the pot and I cleaned off the roots. What I noticed is that the root system is very small for the number of leaves this plant is trying to maintain, and so it's struggling, and then they just get smaller and smaller. That's a sign the plant is not too happy. So I'm actually gonna chop this plant. And this is fewer leaves that these roots need to support. This one, I don't know, none of these leaves look good except for these new ones here. I might just chop most of it off. It is pretty though. This plant now and this one. Actually, I'm gonna propagate from the healthier Marble Queen plant. These leaves are nice and big and healthy. These propagations will make a much prettier and fuller plant. I like to add in probiotics to my propagations just to help them out a little bit. I made this frog lid out of air dry clay. Is this not so cute? By the windowsill you go. Here's the game plan. I'm gonna put these into the plant I'm gonna give my friend because it's already rooted, and I'm gonna make it a fuller pot for her. And then once those propagations root, I will plant them all back together in the self-watering pot, but with a much chunkier soil mix so it doesn't get muddy. After grow lights, my second favorite plant product is root crack. Sprinkle it on the roots every time you repot, and it prevents transplant shock and it helps the roots absorb nutrients. This one definitely needs all the help it can get. And third best plant tool, I guess it's not really tool, but a good soil mix. Look how chunky this is. So there's the marble queen. There's the other one, potted all up with the rest of the neon propagations. After repotting, I water. This is a camping pump, 5-gallon jug. And my water recipe is CalMag tap water conditioner to remove chlorine, chloramine, and other heavy minerals. And fertilizer. This thing is such a game changer because I don't need to constantly make 1-gallon mixes at a time, all in bulk. Much fuller plant now for my friend. I hope she likes it. Okay, back to business. My philodendron gloriosum at the top. I call it my breast milk plant because it's living in a breast milk storage container. Another trailing Hoya, Tradescantia nanook. These are the easiest plant to propagate. You just pop it in soil and it's good to go. I think this is a philodendron cream splash. A baby rubber plant. Philodendron Florida ghost. Variegated heartleaf philodendron. Oh, another string of hearts. Dang, I have so many of these. Another baby rubber plant propagated. Elephant bush succulent. This is a little wild. Another succulent. I never know the name of this. I think it's a kalanchoe. Syndapsis pictus echeveria succulent. I call it my lettuce plant because it looks like lettuce. Oh gosh, this one needs a moss pole extension like 10 years ago. This is another Syndapsis, but it's a rare variety. I think it's an aurea. And my bird of paradise. This one is huge. Wasn't as huge when I first got it. The box on this one was impossible to hide from my husband. The jig is up because when we moved, we had to rent a U-Haul to transport all my plants. So there was no hiding at that point. And my most stunning plant is probably this philodendron caramel marble. Like, look at the color of these leaves. Each one is so different. The variegation is gorgeous. If this one died, I would actually be very sad. And the question about how I would handle it if I had to lose my entire collection was actually a reality a couple months ago because we were in and out of evacuation zones during the Southern California fires. P.S. This is my variegated banana tree. Look how big it's gotten. I will say, when we were packing all of our bags, getting ready to evacuate, I did not care about any of my plants. Because as much as I love my plant children, I love my human family more. Oh, look at my Hoya Crimson Queen. I put her on a trellis and she is loving that life. Another climbing plant on a trellis, a Syndapsis exotica. My biggest plant fail was a ficus. Not this one. This is a ficus Audrey. I got this as a Mother's Day present several years ago. But my biggest plant fail was a ficus altissima because I went away on vacation and when I came back, it lost like all its leaves. It was so bald. But I repotted it, rubbed some KK paste all over it, and I gifted it to a friend and it's thriving now. I wish I had like an updated photo of it, but it's still alive, but my biggest fail still. And speaking of how I care for plants when I do go away for extended periods of time, a good chunk of my collection is self-watering. But things you can do. Wait until your plants are really, really thirsty and then deeply water all of them right before you go. You can even keep a small reservoir of water in a bin and just put all the plants in there together. And so your plants don't use up all the water too quickly while you're gone, you can lower your shades and move your plants a few feet away from the windows too. And then for the select few rare plants that I really want to make sure are taken care of, I just give them to my friend to watch for me. Okay, I'm not going to show a detailed view of this Hoya cabinet because it's pretty embarrassing. I need to repot literally everything in here. And also I really suck at Hoya names. So there's a bunch in here. They're all in leca. Actually, a good number of them are in leca. And I want to move away from leca. It's just such a mess in there. So that's all you're going to get. My last set of Hoyas are in this little mini greenhouse. I did go away on a business trip, so I kept them in a small reservoir of water, like I just said. And it's dry now, so it fed all the plants while I was gone. I did label them. I'm not even gonna pretend I know how to pronounce these. Like, what the heck is this name? BSG121622BS. It keeps going. 14. Who named you? I don't have a garden. This is supposed to be my indoor garden, but I haven't planted anything yet. And I think that's like 99.9% of my plant collection. Let me know what other kind of videos you would like to see, and subscribe if you enjoy.
Who got the bathroom plants?